Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced, and this game was played in Grandchester. With the white pieces we have Alireza Firouzja, and with the black pieces we have Fabiano Caruana. So definitely this game is going to be prodigy versus experience. So let's see how Alireza gets to deal with Fabi. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Alireza starts with d4, we have d5 by Fabi, knight to f3, knight to f6 and c4. Just going for the symmetrical variation, queen's pawn opening, and we have e6, knight to c3, and now we transpose into the English opening, and we have knight bd7, c captures, e captures, and bishop to g5, just developing that bishop. And here we have c6, queen to c2, and here bishop to e7, e3, knight to h5. But now just going for this bishop captures, queen captures, g4, an immediate strike by Alireza, saying that he is definitely ready for a fight. And not only that, he might be interested in attacking towards the queen side. And here Alireza is thinking that maybe he gets to castle towards the queen side. Knight to f6, we have rook to g1, just defending that pawn. Knight develops, also develops with an attack on this pawn. So either you push it or either you defend it. Alireza chooses to go for defending it, not choosing to go for that, because that means that you get to do that, maybe just that, and castle to safety, and it will be difficult from there to push those pawns. So here just bishop to e6, now bishop to d3, but finally just castles. Now we finally has g6. But here just comes queenside castle and queenside castle by Fabi as well. We have king to b1, king to b8, both going for nice prophylactic moves. King to a1, and this is taking it a bit too far, but rook to c8, and now just going for this rook to c1. Now we have this rook to c7, we have knight bd2, knight to d2, and we have h5. Just finally trying to make sense of what the position is going to be, because what are you going to do? That's what Fabi is asking Alireza, because if he captures, then this becomes weak. This becomes weak, and let's see what he does. He goes for g5, because now knight can move. Either you can go here, but then you're gonna have to sacrifice the pawn. But here we have knight f to d7, h4, and now just going for the c5. So definitely Fabi has decided that he is going to try to attack Alireza where the side he has castle. Normally that's not something you do, but if it works, then why not? D caps on c5, knight captures, and now just knight jumps, attacking the rook, rook c to c8, just moving the rook back, not letting Fabi double up on the c file, but just queen to c3. And now we have bishop to d7, queen to a3, and now here bishop captures on b5, bishop caps on b5, rook to c7, and here just rook to c2. We have rook h to c8, rook g to c1, and here just knight to e4. Now we have rook captures, queen captures, and just rook captures, and now just going for this knight capture. So a lot of trade happening. Rook captures, and now this rook to h1. And here we have d4, a very beautiful move, because you won't be able to actually attack it anyhow. So it's always better to just try to open up the lines, because now once you capture, you're gonna have to defend that. So it gives white a chance as to what he wants to do with the position. So here bishop to d3, but now just comes rook to g4. Rook is going to have to remain here, because that pawn is threatened, and if you're able to capture that pawn, your pass pawn is most likely going to be unstoppable. Here bishop to c2, but now just comes this rook to d2, and rook to g2, and now this pawn is threatened. How are you going to defend it? But now not defending it, but going for e captures. But now once the rook captures, that comes with an attack on the bishop. So just king to b1, knight to c4, and now if the bishop moves, this pawn is going to be vulnerable. So here just bishop to d3, asking, are you interested in capturing it? And so why is actually Alireza actually giving up this pawn? Well, the answer lies in the fact that these three pawns are actually on light squares. So you're going to have to figure it out why is actually Alireza Fabi playing this, because here just knight to d6 was played, but now just comes rook to f1. We have rook to d2 attacking the bishop, and just now rook to f3 defending, rook to g2, but now just b3, b5, a4, and here b caps on a4. We have bishop to c4. Now if you trade now, I mean, these two pawns are much of a threat, because they are on the last file, so you don't have to worry about it. Central pawns on the other hand are going to be a problem if you trade that. So here not trading it, but going for a captures. We have bishop captures, knight to f5, and now just in this position you have to be very much careful. Alireza needs to be very careful in this position, because the best move in this position is I'm going to ask you to you're going to have to figure it out. Try your luck, find out the best move in this position, try your endgame skills. Let's see what you got. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move, and the move is this beautiful bishop caps on f7, and that's the only move that gives white something to hope for, because not only you attack it, but also there are some chances of just going after the king. And here of knight caps on h4. Now you play rook to b3 check, king moves, and here just rook to a3, just going for that pawn. Rook caps on g5, rook caps on a7, king to d8. We have d5, just pushing that pawn, knight to g2, but now this comes rook to 8, and after king to e7 we have t6, and also just giving it up, not giving it up, because once you push that, I mean, there is nothing can stop you from queening. So here just king caps on d6, but here just bishop caps on g6, and after h4 most likely you're going to say bishop to e4. just covering that square. Rook is going to jump up to this file, so most likely it's going to end in a draw. But here after knight to f5 we have rook to h3, but this just gives black a bit too much, and let's see if Fabi is able to take that, because here Fabi goes for rook to f2, which is not the best move, but it is the second best move. So here bishop caps on f7 was played, but now it's a bit too late because here knight caps on h4, and now here we have rook to b3 check, king to c7, going after the same lines, but this is a little bit different because this protects it here. And not only it protects it, but also you have to figure out that this is a tempo late, and sometimes in endgames all you need is a tempo. Rook to a3, but now just going for this a5. We have bishop to d5, but now just the rook to f5 attacking the bishop. We have rook to c3 check, king to d6, but now just bishop to e4 attacking the rook. But it just gets worse and worse here for Alireza, because here rook caps on g5 was played. Now he has two connected pass pawns, and the central pass pawn is not going to be easy to push at all, because it's just impossible. King is taking very good care of that, so that pawn cannot be pushed. Rook to c6 check, but here just king to d7, rook to a6 going after that pawn, but just rook to g4 going after the bishop, and now you cannot even take that. And wherever you move, let's say you move here, most likely there's going to be pressure to that, and how are you ever going to defend that pawn? Here bishop to c2, but now just king to e7, rook caps on a5, we have king to f6, rook to a6 check, but now just going for king to g5, d5, but now here just knight to f5, king to b2 h4, king to c3 h3, d6 h2, but now here just d7, so that both can queen at the same time. But even though both can queen, but the end game is completely losing for Alireza. Though unfortunately that the issue is here rook to d4 was played, but now just comes this bishop caps on f5. Now here h1 queen, and we have king to d4, queen to h8, but now just going for king to d5. Alireza missed a very crucial line in this position where he had to queen, and now he won't be able to queen, because there was a chance in this in here where he could have queened very easily, but here he didn't, and now it's just going to be very much difficult. Because and here just king to d5 was played, but now just comes this rook captures, rook to d6, and Alireza can still draw this, but he has to find the right set of moves. Queen to d8, but just king to c6. It's absolutely insane that this endgame is actually a draw. But here g5, but now just going for rook to d1, and this rook to d1 is absolutely a blunder. The move that he had to find was actually rook to d3. The idea being that you cannot go after the rook, because simply what I have to do is just, get the rook away from there. Anywhere would be fine. Most likely my idea is just get the rook to d3, and here and here. This is the idea. And yes, you're going to face a lot of checks, but that would have been better instead of what happened here. Rook to d1 was played, but now just g4, rook to e1, and here just queen to d8. King moves, but now just going for this g3, king to e7, and here just queen to a3 check, king to e8, and just queen to a4, but now here just rook to f1, king to e6, but here just rook to e1 was played, and here after rook to e2, queen to b5, and rook to e7. Here in this position just g2 was played, and it was on this move, on move 73, that Alireza Firouzja resigned the game, because there is nothing to be done. Your pawn is pinned. You're gonna have to get at least one move to be able to do that, to be able to get out of the way. And once you get out of the way, here Fabi will get another queen, and your position will absolutely crumble. Even if you have a queen and a rook against two queens, your position is absolutely lost. So he realized that, and he resigned the game. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you all.